thank you. God bless you. And God bless the United States of America.
I didn't think it was one of Obama's greatest speeches. I didn't think it was the equal of his 2004 convention speech, and I don't think it was the equal of his race speech, which he gave after the Jeremiah Wright episode in the spring. But I thought it was a very effective speech and very useful in a number of ways. I thought the criticism of McCain in the speech was particularly effective. I like the line a lot that it's not that he doesn't care, it's that he doesn't know.
I don't believe that Senator McCain doesn't care what's going on in the lives of Americans. I just think he doesn't know.
Because I think this gets at probably a fairly effective tact for them, which is painting McCain as out of touch, which gets a little bit at the idea that he's a little old and, sort of has missed the boat.
It's like, when your parents say, I'm not angry with you, I'm just disappointed. It's like the understatement also almost makes it sound like more condescending and more disheartening. He did condescend to John McCain in that way, but that's perfect. That's what he needs to keep doing.
The speech was surprisingly flat, I thought. It was even a little boring in parts. He followed Dick Morris's advice, which is voters like long laundry lists of policies, but then he didn't even do that fully. It seemed just to do the bare minimum things that he thought he had to do, and not with all that much verve.
I thought that Obama did exactly what he needed to do tonight. I thought his speech was poignant. I thought it was powerful. He needed to paint a vision of who he was. He needed to tell his personal story for Americans that don't know who he is.
And when I hear a woman talk about the difficulties of starting her own business or making her way in the world, I think about my grandmother, who worked her way up from the secretarial pool to middle management, despite years of being passed over for promotions because she was a woman. She's the one who taught me about hard work.
He outlined who his heroes were. It was a very personal account.
Talked about seeing his mother and people who were on food stamps. Talked about seeing his grandfather in the faces of Iraqi veterans. Using his own biography to show people, look, not only do I get it at an intellectual level, but I get it in my bones because this is who I am.
These are my heroes. Theirs are the stories that shaped my life.
He took on Phil Gramm, John McCain's economic advisor, who said, this is a nation of whiners. And Obama said, a nation of whiners.
A nation of whiners. Tell that to the proud auto workers at a Michigan plant who, after they found out it was closing, kept showing up every day and working as hard as ever because they knew there were people who counted on the breaks that they made.
So it was sort of this clear process of understanding, showing connections with him, and then taking their fight, showing them that he would take on their fight for them.
On education, he said he wanted accountability.
I'll recruit an army of new teachers and pay them higher salaries, and in exchange I'll ask for higher standards and more accountability.
Well, what does that mean? It's sort of it's a euphemism that the education movement uses to mean something. I think it means you can fire teachers and principals or close down schools, but I'm not sure he didn't say that.
Obama said this thing about how John McCain said he would follow bin Laden to the gates of hell, but wouldn't even follow him to the cave where he lives.
John McCain likes to say that he'll follow bin Laden to the gates of hell, but he won't even follow him to the cave where he lives.
I think that was a little weird, just because John McCain has had no opportunity to go to the caves of Tora Bora. It's an attack line that worked. The audience laughed and clapped, but I don't think it made perfect sense.
Well, he had a great echo of his 2004 speech. He said there's not a red America and a blue America. It's the United
States of America.
And I was sort of wondering if he could get away with that gambit again. And he did, actually, I think, and say it was the best applause line of the speech.
Newt Gingrich said in the last election that if Democrats wanted a single line, it should be "had enough" about Republicans. And that seemed to be encapsulated when Obama said just simply enough.
Tonight I say to the people of America, to Democrats and Republicans and independents across this great land, enough!